This is Jay Addison from CryptoBiz Magazine. We are live in Las Vegas with Johnny Roquemore, who is a early Bitcoin adopter and into the altcoins. Johnny, just let me ask you a couple of questions. You were doing crypto coin educational videos a while back on YouTube. I was watching them. Why did you decide to stop that?
I just got really busy, and it wasn't a matter of the fact that, I wasn't interested necessarily in the trading or creating the videos. It was more of a structural thing, and I didn't know if people were benefiting because they would, originally be planned as a 30-minute ordeal and then turn into a 3-hour video.
Yeah.
And, it was great. I met a lot of people through it. It's just, I think it's been a matter of time, basically, to sit down in front of the camera and be able to push through it all. So
Yeah, that makes sense. So just on hold for now.
Yeah.
What's your favorite altcoin? I know you were trading quite a few altcoins.
Well, for a long time, I kind of really loved Unobtainium, which is kind of a strange coin because it's older or whatever. But I liked that coin a lot simply because of the fact that it was solid. The coding on the coin itself was structurally sound and everything like that. But I think I might still hold some of them. But I also I really enjoyed Doge because it made me a lot of money. And then I've always been a Litecoin fan too, just because of how quick it moves. But
Cool.
Yeah.
So what altcoins do you own today?
Let me see. I own some crazy ones. I think I own 42. I own Unobtainium. I own Blackcoin. I own a bunch of was it Mesa or whatever?
Yep.
Yeah, I own a bunch of those. I mined a ton of them right after the Austin Bitcoin conference this year.
Cool.
So I have a whole plethora of them because I kind of move them out just depending on volatility and stuff like that. But I was fairly indifferent to the actual structure of the coin, except for Unobtainium was one of them that I grew to love early on and then just kind of stuck with for a little bit. And I played with Quark for a while too, but it's a pretty solid code line as well. But yeah, those are kind of the ones I still hold. I think I probably have more.
So are you still trading today or no?
Here and there. I mean, I will go in and check my accounts and move stuff around. Honestly, it's just a matter of life being busy and how addicting the trading can be. It was pulling away a ton from me, a lot of my time, which is fine. But at the time, I just didn't have enough resources to put into it. Now I got a couple of mainstream things I'm doing, but at the same time, I always keep my ear to the ground when it comes to Bitcoin and altcoin. So.
Yeah, that sounds... I know when I was watching your videos, I got into the habit of staying awake 24 hours a day because you can't day trade. The day is 24 hours long.
Yeah.
So you're, after about a week or so, I thought, wow, man, I just got to get some sleep.
Yeah.
So I understand that.
Absolutely.
So what's your favorite exchange, altcoin exchange?
I've always really liked Cryptsy, and I think maybe part of that being that I have kind of direct access to the guys that are pretty up top there. Horace is one of my friends, and also BitJohn and I are cool. And then, I've had talks with them about doing projects behind the scenes and stuff like that in the past, as far as whether adding certain features and stuff like that to their website would work out. So I've always had a good communication with Cryptsy. I've also had a lot of issues with them because they were kind of fluctuating, going up and down there for a while, and there was a minute there where I thought about moving over entirely to another exchange, but the big problem with that is no other exchange had the smarts, the structural background, and was doing things the way Cryptsy was. Most of the issues that people were seeing, I think, were natural development issues, and a lot of the people in the Bitcoin community had never dealt with that before. So, and I've worked in tech for a while, so it wasn't surprising to me when a server would go down, but everybody, the world
everybody
would
else
catch
is
on
freaking
fire.
out. Yeah.
But yeah, as far as that, Cryptsy's always been one of the most solid exchanges in my opinion, and even if they had their ups and downs, at least they weren't tucking and going like Mt. Gox or any of the others that moved around. BTCE and stuff like that, some of the Bitstamp, some of the earlier ones, those were definitely solid exchanges just to move, my money into Bitcoin or out. Yeah. But I've also been a big Coinbase guy, but altcoin-wise, Cryptsy is where I would go to change.
Yeah, I like Cryptsy as well, and I think I probably got that from watching your videos and seeing the guy from Cryptsy on there. I mean, a lot of these, because a lot of these guys are hiding out. So for you to actually have BitJohn on there and talking, it was fantastic. And talking about the architecture that they're improving and adding more servers and the money that they're putting back into it to make it more stable and more secure for everybody. So yeah, I think Cryptsy's a really great trading exchange, that's for sure.
Yeah.
So what's the best tip that you can give somebody that's altcoin trading today?
I would just say, just watch your buy and sell walls. You got to learn what you're doing when it comes to trading. Trading is trading, whether it's Bitcoin or money, stocks. It's generally, you just have to understand what you're doing. I'm not saying I had any idea what I was doing when I got into it. I had played some market watch, like stock trading, faux, games in the past that were based off of real stocks and things like that. So I had a general concept. But one of the things with altcoins in general is the regulations or lack thereof makes it really easy for you to network and dig in socially and get to know people that have heads ups on things like, hey, this coin release has a big backing, or hey, this coin that's coming out, there's a lot of whales that are really interested in investing in it, so you should get in on the ground floor. I never knew any pre-release or anything like that. I never really knew what was going to go onto the market, but you could start to predict it and stuff like that. So I'd say it's real money, and people forget that pretty quickly. So if you're making 100% gains every single day, even if that is only $5 from the $5 you put in, you're still making better odds than most people out there playing any sort of market, even if it's not satiating your greed, I guess.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Exactly.
So, but yeah, no, I think that as far as anybody getting into it, just learn how to read the charts. And I mean, my videos help with that, I feel like.
You bet,
but,
for sure.
Yeah, but I also feel like there's so many other resources. If you don't know what a buy wall is or a sell wall or a floor, just Google it and you'll figure it out.
Yeah, so, and I guess one of the other problems is there are guys doing pump and dumps. So you got to kind of watch out for. You might get caught in the middle of it.
That's another thing too. As far as pump and dumps, don't get caught up in them, because the thing is with a pump and dump, and this is something that a lot of people don't understand, is that their conversations happen far before. There's a group of people that are talking about pre-buying a coin, and they'll say this is a pump and dump, genuine, no pre-buys, blah blah blah. Well, somebody involved in that is going to have been notching away and buying some coins. So if you hear about a pump and dump or anything like that, just stay miles away from it. And if you're the guy that's involved in the group that's helping out with the pump and dump, just, you might also want to realize that you're leaving other people holding the bag, and some people are amateur and have no idea what that means. And, I don't want to be the guy boiler rooming some guy's mortgage payment.
Yeah,
so,
that's for sure.
Yeah.
So in the long run, do you think it's going to be Bitcoin that becomes the winner, or do you think it might be an altcoin?
I think Bitcoin's got so much PR behind it, and that is what people like. When I try to explain altcoin to people that don't understand what Bitcoin is, I just end up backing off the conversation, depending, I'll say,
confusing sometimes.
Yeah, I'll say, oh, well, these are other types of Bitcoin, to which they then think it's incremental, like quarters, nickels, dime, whatever. They don't understand that it's just, that it's just a completely separate asset. And I think Bitcoin will reign supreme for a while, but I think that I kind of feel like there's going to be blockchain 2.0, right? Like, I feel like eventually whole system is going to change. Bitcoin will remain a currency until someone writes blockchain 2.0 that actually ends up figuring out a way to merge Bitcoin into that blockchain as well, So I think it's an evolution of the system rather than an evolution of the coin itself.
Yeah, I think it makes sense. I mean, there's a lot of talk about smart contracts and that kind of stuff, and with Ethereum and everything. And I think, if they add side chains, or if they do something, get a big blockchain 2.0, we might see that. Yeah. The ability to transfer files or contracts or whatever it is through the blockchain, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty exciting stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I've talked to a couple people that have done big file, what's it called, compressions and stuff like that, and there's been a lot of talk, because if they can securely move files over a blockchain of sorts, that will create, if there's a good security for it. I mean, you're literally encrypting files. Mm-hmm. If every file is encrypted, then that might actually be the answer to piracy, which means that investors should pay a lot more attention to that portion of the market as well, because the development of technology that will mount on Bitcoin and the way that it's made will be the ones that'll stand pretty strong. Because, I mean, if you could get a CD and you had to have essentially a crypto machine to crack the code to get all 12 songs off of that CD to then distribute it online, you're going to pay $1 per song. Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, the effort is completely,
that's for sure.
And that's what I think. So, yeah.
So what kind of projects do you have on the go for, Bitcoin altcoins? Is there anything you can talk about?
Well, I've got a friend of mine he's actually, I think he's in Japan. His name's Alex, and they're building a really awesome, it's actually live now. I'd have to get the domain from him. I'll give it to you guys so you can post it up if you want. But he did a coin pusher machine that's awesome. So basically you throw a little bit of Bitcoin in, you know, it shuffles it around. You have the chance to win some other Bitcoin from that. So it's gambling, but it's not. It's more fun and more interactive, and he's a good guy. So, I mean, that's a good project that I've worked with him on as far as, well, one of the things I'm going to be working with him on is marketing it, but we also have some stuff structurally that we're going to be doing with it in addition to that. That's the stuff I can't really talk about, but it's fun, cool stuff. I had originally talked to some people about building a Bitcoin casino. I've got some really good domains, but we were going to build a Bitcoin casino, and then the legalities and the loopholes and all that kind of stuff. We could still totally build a nice casino, but we would just have to be careful about what we did and what we didn't do. And at the time, it was just a little bit too much. But I am working on, albeit slowly, a Bitcoin remote mining management software that would be similar to Hootsuite. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah, so you'd have your layout rather than having just, you know, just your Twitter and your Facebook and all that in separate tabs. You could be able to look in one place and go, okay, here are all my pools, here are all my machines. And then, you know, transfer it on the go. Because if I have my S1s plugged in and I go on vacation and something happens to the coin I haven't pointed at, there's nothing I can do unless the pool that I'm using is set up for that. But regardless, basically, those two projects are kind of slow development because I'm not in a rush. I don't need to be. There are guys that are innovating way faster than I am. So my projects are just going to go along with how they work in my time schedule. But I do all the other mainstream projects I'm working on, every single one of them, it will or is accepting Bitcoin because it would be silly not to. I mean, why
you
would
bet,
you not
for sure,
use
right?
another currency? So, yeah.
So one last question,
Sure.
and we ask everybody this. It's kind of a crazy question. What do you think, January 1st, 2015, what do you think the price of Bitcoin will be?
Oh, man. Well, judging from how things are going at the moment, I think that we're looking at, I mean, if I could have things my way, it would be around $700 or $800. And that's just because of the fact that there's the big three, like as far as the big three in trading would be the peaks and valleys, right?
Okay, yeah,
like,
yeah.
So a lot of people are looking at it in a really condensed view and saying, oh, well, there's one, there's two, there's three. And I think we had last November, we had early December, we had the first of many.
Got it.
So I'd say it's going to be on its climb back up. And I mean, if you really look at it against the a lot of historical data and any version of trading along with psychology, we'll see a jump in price that'll peak higher than it did before in November, but in like March. So right. I feel like it'll be back on its climb up, and it might even pull back even further than that. So, you know, but I think it'd be around $700 or $800, probably. Let's say $756.
That sounds great. So, write that down.
Yeah.
That's fantastic. We appreciate the time. Thank you very much, Johnny Roquemore. We'll follow up with you on these projects.
Yeah.
So we can help you get the word out on those.
Definitely.
Thanks,
you guys. You guys are awesome.
Bye-bye. This is Jay Addison from CryptoBiz Magazine, live from Meckler Media's Inside Bitcoins Conference in Las Vegas. Remember to subscribe to CryptoBiz Magazine at CryptoBizMag.com. Follow us on Twitter at CryptoBizMag. Thanks for joining us, and learn more at CryptoBizMagazine.com.